Okay.
Okay? Does that sound good to everybody? Okay.
How do our students feel about it? Do they want to come back for this? Because this was this was the most exciting part of our agenda this morning.
You guys got a snoozer agenda in some ways, but they're not usually that exciting. So those of you who are thinking you want to go into public office, you have to be prepared for some long days, very tedious work. Okay. So, and then if anything else pops up, Ms. Holtz, we can do it under new business. Okay. Okay. And next we have new business and commissioners. I have. Is there any other? Is there any new business? Do you have anything? Okay. All right. I'm going to pass these out. Here we go. Just pass these down to the commissioners. I don't think I have enough for the students. Let me see what I have here. And I do. I think. There we go. And there. Malvina. And I'm going to pass that around to Barb. I don't have enough because I want to make sure the students got to. Sure. We're going to have to share, Brandy. I'm Raven. Okay, so commissioners, I know that I have a number of initiatives that I'm working on, and I wanted to make sure that I got this before the commissioners, and this would have been a little problematic with all these agenda requests, so I thought I'd try this approach since it is new business. And these are the initiatives that I'm going to be working on. The first one is a Women's History Month initiative, and this is something I'd like to do, and it really ties in with what Kathy Thompson is doing, and that is interviews of women who are 60 years of age or older who have a long-term, born and raised here in Charles County. Hearing about the Pamunkey School today, you can immediately see what a real great opportunity exists here. There's an organization called StoryCorps that really takes, this is what they do, this is what they do professionally, and so I'm hoping that they can get involved, but there's no fiscal note at this point until I can just have an opportunity to meet with the original committee group. Then we'll know more. The youth initiative things that I've been working on, and I was delighted to hear that Commissioners Rucci and Collins have been working in terms of, and I won't say what any more than what's in the memo because this is still something you're working on. But we have really committed to our youth, and I think that I want to bring this up today while you students are here. This board is serious about making sure that we have programs for our youth. And I've been sort of meeting and working with some other groups, and I just wanted to make sure that I could keep you all, or we could all stay in the loop so that I can turn over to you, if you will, some of these things that I've been working on. And I still feel that a youth symposium that would be really a wonderful initiative that we should consider for the fall or whenever we feel that we could handle it. So that's that one. And underneath that, I go back to the substance abuse initiative. And one of the things I think that, and Commissioner Rucci, correct me if I'm wrong, that is very clear when you get into this, that substance abuse is just not about youth. I mean, it's
everybody.
It's everyone, all walks of life, all socioeconomic levels. But one of the important components is to educate and prevent youth from getting anywhere near that sort of thing. And so I also think, Commissioner Rucci and I have sort of been working on this, and we want to make sure that we keep you looped into that part of it. The third initiative that I'd like to bring to your attention is a community garden in conjunction with the Charles County Health Department. And this really ties in with our goal of, number one, tourism, and objective number two of our economic development goal. It's actually goal number one, economic development, and under that is tourism. And it also ties in with the health department's goals. So Dr. Abney and I were talking about a model for consideration. She's been scheduling meetings with all of the commissioners, and you'll see under that paragraph, commissioners, there's an issue that we've been working on in terms of finding tenants for certain properties. I didn't want to get into that publicly, but I wanted you to see that. What we could achieve by working on this with Dr. Abney is a community garden with educational components, school trips for children. It'd be nice to have a kitchen available, and it really, really does mesh well with this holistic approach to healthy eating. And that also ties in with something that we're doing through the Tri-County Council, through SMADAC, Southern Maryland Area Agricultural Development Commission, and this hub and spoke Commission, which was, or task force, which was established last year during the legislature by Senator Middleton. And the whole point of that is to be able to allow farmers, particularly you've heard of the Farming for Hunger program, so that farmers can get food and, that they can't sell, it's not going to stay ripe, but can get it to the poor, to people who normally don't have, let's face it, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, just look to see what a thing of strawberries costs, is very expensive. So this would all tie in with Dr. Abney's program, and this is something that Tri-County Council and SMATIC are already doing. And the last one is a roundtable discussion and presentation on regional opportunities, research and development related to, and I know nobody wants to hear about these unmanned air vehicles, but on President's Day, Steny Hoyer and Delegate John Bohannon did a phenomenal presentation at the CSM Prince Frederick campus, and they talked all about FAA funding that has been approved for Virginia Tech, and the University of Maryland is part of that. They're part of that partnership. And so what they're going to be doing down at Pax River is extensive research and testing of unmanned air vehicles. The whole idea is at some point in the future there will be a commercial application for this. We in Charles County, of course, have at the Indian Head facility lots of testing going on what we call robotics, but are the unmanned ground vehicles. And so I would really like for the commissioners to have the benefit of that presentation, as well as some of our business leaders. And I just think we've seen, some of us have seen it through Tri-County Council. Some of us I've seen it on the 17th, but I really would like for the board and the community to see it. And, Commissioner Collins and Commissioner Davis, I know that you've worked really tirelessly on trying to get something to happen in terms of business development in that Bryan's Road, Indian Head region. And because of this synergy that exists, I think this whole testing piece could really be the answer, particularly because part of what they're doing in St. Mary's is utilizing their local regional airport. So these are the initiatives. Everything that's on this list will require some staff time, but there's no actual fiscal note other than that, and I just wanted to make you all aware of it so that I can proceed with diligence.
So are you asking us or are you telling us?
Well, do you feel like I need, is there consensus?
Are you asking?
Yes, may I have a consensus that you're in agreement with this?
Well, it requires more than staff time, correct? Because if you're going to have publications and
no, I'm
meetings.
not asking for any publications. This is just the preliminary planning.
Well, you expect that you might be having some publications.
And I think I said in there, when I get to that point, I will come back to the board with more detail and a plan.
So you do expect that it would have a financial note in the future?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean,
do you expect that we'd work with you on these?
I would love for you to work with me on anything that I do.
Well, these are just initiatives that you haven't talked with us about before, so I'm just wondering.
That's why I'm bringing it up today.
All right. Can we have a chance to take a look at it and offer our input?
Absolutely, and I'd love to have that by tomorrow. When we meet tomorrow, that'd be a great time. As I said, these are initiatives that I've identified for as my own projects, but it's just like anything. I think we're always all in this together. So, and I absolutely believe that any kind of funding that would be, financial funding, I will come back to you. This is really just to keep you informed. And I think this is a great practice. So to the extent that any other commissioners would like to do this, I would invite you to do that. I think it's really good for us to hear what we're doing, and it's really important for the citizens to hear what we're working on. I know, Commissioner Collins, you're working on the Waldorf beautification. Commissioner Rucci and I have been working closely with the opiate and the substance abuse. Commissioner Robinson is involved in a number of energy issues and things of that nature. And Commissioner Davis, you have your Vision 2020. So, that's what makes a board work well, is when we're all moving forward with areas of interest.
Each of those were handled a bit differently, but we'll deal with it as we go about it.
Could you tell me how they were handled differently?
We can talk about it later.
No, we're in open session. Would you mind telling me how they were handled differently?
I believe each of them were approved prior to They weren't handled by initiatives in open business, on open session. But it's okay, we'll get through it.
Well, no, I mean, I would like for you to tell me how this is handled differently. As a matter of fact, I think this has been handled much more transparently and openly.
Okay.
So would you like to elaborate?
No, I would not.
Okay. Well, then you really shouldn't make statements without backing them up. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now take our lunch break. And we will then move into closed session. And as we know, for closed session, we have to go through. So, Ms. Holtz, do you have some? Can you give us something on the foreclosed?
There will be 2 updates and information on 2 reports that were requested.
In the future, it would really be helpful, I think, if we could get that on the agenda, because
We will have to, if it's all right with the clerk, to do it as late as Thursday evening.
it's fine if you do it
I can do that.
Tuesday morning. And it's even,
Okay.
and Ms. Holtz, it's even fine if you just hand us a piece of paper right before we're
okay.
ready to vote. I understand that, time is an issue and just what's coming. My concern is in order to be compliant with the Open Meetings Act, we're voting on something if we really don't know.
I fully agree.
Okay. So, is that agreeable with you, Ms. Ferguson? I mean, just a piece of paper that we give right back to you afterwards is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Section 10-508, A1, 3, 7, and 8? And I think we have everybody seen the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Collins. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rucci. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed. And that has to do with my conviction about the budget discussions. Okay. Well, we will now move into closed session, and we will return tomorrow at 2 o'clock, Ms. Ferguson? 6 o'clock. Okay.
We're actually going to need to squeeze that legislative follow-up before that.
It's still on.
So I'm sorry, I wasn't ready to.
What time do you
Give
think?
me just 1 second.
Commissioner, the 6 o'clock meeting is on docket 90, and discussions are still ongoing, and so there is a possibility that we will not be testifying, not presenting testimony at the 6 o'clock hearing, but I will try and let you know.
Will the public forum still go? The public hearing still go?
The
forward?
public hearing will go forward. I don't know of any way to cancel it since it's been advertised.
Okay.
But
Thank you for that information.
yeah, there either will or will not be an agreement between the parties by that time. I thought we had one, but it's unraveled a little bit.
And so, just
So
refresh-
5 o'clock would start us an hour earlier, but give us time, I think, to do the legislative items follow-up from today.
Okay, and then you'll get 5 p.m., we'll return 5 p.m. tomorrow, and you'll get word out to the press and the
I
media
will,
as soon as
yes.
possible
Yep.
for the public announcement component. Okay, well, thank you very much. Now, the students, I guess, will be heading back to school. You really are going to miss us, aren't you? Well, before we leave, let's give everybody a chance to say a few words, and we'll start with Anthony, and tell a little bit about yourself and, what you think about today's experience and how we can be helpful in the future to you.
Well, at first, this meeting was interesting, and for future reference, I want to say that more schools should come and witness these meetings and actually get acquaintance of the whole county situation about schools, business, and get little information about the history of Charles County.
Thank you, Anthony.
Good.
You're a senior at,
Westlake High School.
and your plans after graduation?
Probably going down North Carolina for Winston-Salem.
And you're hopeful to major in?
Meteorology or environmental scientist.
You're going to have to keep mentoring this young man.
Yes, I plan on it.
Okay.
Doing my next Facebook update.
I thought today's meeting was very informative for me because I didn't know like all these things going on in the county, so it was actually a good experience for me to be here. So, I'm an 11th grader at Lackey High School.
Now, Melvina, I have a question. Do you, in terms of the civics, that we used to call it civics, do you feel like most students know these sorts of things today, or even no?
No. I think it should be more informed.
Okay, thank you, and good luck. Thank you, Ms. Raven.
I'm Raven. I'm an 11th grader at Lackey too, and I really do agree with him saying that the students should be invited to witness this because we really don't know a lot about what's going on in the county unless, our parents tell us or something. So I really think that would be good if we could, take class trips like juniors or seniors or something to come here and listen to actually what's going on in the county.
Wow. Thank you. Okay, and Ashley.
Okay. I'm Ashley, and I'm from Westlake High School. I'm a junior, and I think this meeting was very informative. I got to learn the jobs of the commissioners and stuff that's going on in the county and all the problems they deal with.
Thank you. So now where are you heading?
For school. I'm thinking about going to UNC Charlotte.
Okay, and what's your interest, area of interest?
Pre-med. I think I want to be a dental hygienist.
Wow, wonderful. And Raven, you didn't tell us, I forgot to ask you where you going to school or thinking about.
University of Maryland.
And what do you think you'd like to study?
Political science and hopefully my law degree.
Wonderful. And what made you think about political science?
I've always wanted, first my dream was to be a senator. So it just kind of went off of that.
Wonderful. And I should ask Ashley too, so what makes you think about dental? And
Well,
the dentist in the family, or
no. For one, I had cavities when I was little, and I thought braces. I've been to the dentist a lot, and I thought the job and experiencing it and seeing it, going through it all, was very cool. And I just since then I just.
That would be something to do. And Melvina, tell us where you think you want to go to school. I want people to hear and why you picked it.
I'm aiming to go to Stanford. Hopefully, I get accepted. I picked that school because it's the best law school in the country. So that's my goal.
And what are you hoping to study in college?
I want to first. I'm going to go to pre-laws, and I want to be a lawyer. So
we'll be rooting for you. Now, Anthony. So you're our gentleman here. So why meteorology? And don't say it's just because Ken pinched you and told you you had to say
No.
that.
Well, I want to be in meteorology because I'm kind of interested in weather, and my mother and father always said that I always stay watching the Weather Channel, so I should study in that field. But at first, I used to want to be a graphic design since I'm good with the PowerPoints. So, but over the years, I kind of changed and majored in meteorology and environmental scientists.
That's great. That's wonderful. And the connection between the weather or meteorology and the environmental piece.
And graphics.
Right. But that's going to be an important nexus, I think, in the future in terms of understanding and research in those areas.
Thank you all for coming in. Thank you.
It's been great. And go back and tell your other students that they're welcome anytime. And again, I want to recognize Ms. Chavez. Did I say that correctly? Stand up again and thank you. These things don't happen, and you guys know that, without dedicated faculty, and so we appreciate it. It's a gift. So we're going to go out front and get a picture and give the gift.
It's really nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
Melvina, after you're out of Stanford and in law school, God willing, if I'm still alive,
I'll give her.
call the county attorney's office for a job. You want to put your stuff down?
Anthony, we're working on getting